Alrighty, brew. Today we got a little bit of a mystery. When I recently bought this 84, it's now covered with dog hair, I could not figure out how to adjust the truss rod. It doesn't need to be adjusted right now, but since it's a new guitar, I needed to find out, if I needed to know anything, if I needed a tool. My previous Kramer came with an Allen wrench for adjusting the truss rod, but other than 80s Kramers, I've never, and the vintage that came with the truss rod, I don't know what Kramer's been doing. The old ones had like a screwdriver slot. This, the vintage uses a normal Allen wrench at that end of the neck. And this, I don't know what it uses. It's got like a blob of glue there, and then a hole. Looks kind of like a threaded hole, but I can't see in there, so I'm gonna pop the neck off. I hate to do it because the guitar is like literally the best setup guitar I think I've ever had. Not sponsored by Coca-Cola, but so yeah, I'd kind of like to not mess with it, but only way I know. So, without further ado, I'm gonna play my normal intro music, and then we'll get to the work. Love this guitar. Alright. And don't forget what that sounded like, because after I do this, I plan to change to some EVH strings. Because when they used to have 5150 strings. Probably have a package right here. Huh. Now there's some packages around here of old used strings that they have like red and white stripes. Fun stuff. But they had them in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. At some point they changed to being labeled as Music Man strings, I think. Or at least they changed them from 5150 or something. I don't know. But I guess they were made by Music Man anyway. But they were nickel wound strings. And I've been using Fender steel strings for quite a while, and I don't really know why I switched. I think it was just because the music store that was in town for a while didn't have nickel wound strings. Anyway, I'm going to put some on there and see what I think of them, because they used to be my favorite strings. Well, the 5150 strings were my favorite strings, and those being to Edward Van Halen specifications, apparently. Maybe these are the same. Maybe we should Ask a fortune cookie. Soon you will be sitting on top of the world. Didn't play it exactly right, but yeah. Standing on top of the world. Van Halen song. An imitation Van Halen guitar, if you will. Say, imitation is not a good word. Inspired by the 5150 guitar. And a 5150 amp we're using today because my 6505 MH got damaged in an electrical storm recently. So it is in the shop. So I'll leave the bar on there because I want to push this in a little bit. Keep pressure on the strings. And while I'm here, and mark my spring. The raisin is that you end up with a bit, well, the way I set it up, it'll have a little bit different tension on the springs, which may affect things. I don't know how much, but if I take the springs off and put them back on, I want it to be exactly the same as it was before, or as close as I can get to that. If I had a gauge that could check the springs to see, you know, exactly how much tension or whatever. They have things where you can, it'll put a weight and then you can test the spring. Oops. I've never had enough of a reason to keep checking springs to justify buying a tool like that. It would be handy because I got a whole box of random tremolo springs and I have no idea which ones might match with which. Oh, this is pretty simple. I've got 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Takes a little extra time now, but then I don't have to deal with it in the future. Oh yeah, I was going to change that. Oh well. Don't suppose that will fit out without. Nope. Alrighty. Oh, that's nice to know. They're using the old school method for shimming. Getting the neck angle right. I don't know if this is done at the factory or if it was done while they were checking things out at Sweetwater. Interesting. Okay, so what have we got here? Blowing that extra wood out of there. I think no, you don't. Oh, look at that. Thing fell off after all. So I'm actually going to get a countersink here because when they screw into the neck, it tends to pull a bit of wood up. Maybe you can compare that if it will focus. Focus. This side has quite a bump right there. This side doesn't because of Getting rid of that wood and paper. Yeah, although that might seem like, being a stickler, if you look at the thickness of these things, like about the thickness of 2 hairs, then it kind of puts into perspective how much just a little extra wood in a place can affect things. I mean, somebody put these in there to give it just enough tilt to the neck to make the action perfect. It was great. So, we take a little bit of this out. It was fine how it was, but now that we've changed things, that wood could get embedded in a different way and the result might be different. This at least makes it more reproducible, our results. So, back to the heel. Let's see what the hell we've got here. See if we can get any light in there. Not really. Alright, just gonna try this light. Not, I don't think it can probably focus on there. There's some kind of glob. I don't even know what that is. So we'll get the glob out first. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Well, there for a second, it's weird grainy stuff, but it looks like glue on this side. Or wood. There's still some embedded around the... So let's see if I can take a little tiny screwdriver. That could have shot right in my eye. Good thing I have these glasses on. No idea what this stuff is. I only know it's not supposed to be there. Got another one straight to the eye. Luckily, the glasses saved me again. I didn't expect this to be dangerous work. An even smaller screwdriver here. So I'm working around in this hole to try to figure out what this hole is. Just blow it out. Okay, so there is an Allen wrench, the Allen in there. You put together a bunny pin, like for rabbits, rabbit pin. Let's see, I'll try to get the light in there. It's kind of hard. You might be able to see a little of the kind of a little bit of the flat surface. Like a pin you put bunnies in, not like a pin. Ooh, you have chickens? What kind? I had an Americana several years ago that was just, it was like a little people. Would come in and sit with me and the dog. See if I have. I think this one's too big. Yep. Let's see what I've got. That's gonna be way too small. Yep. Most recently, a dozen foghorns. Foghorn Leghorn would be proud. That's going to be too small. I have this. I don't know if it actually fits anything. And of course, no. I have Allen wrenches that do fit on things and Allen wrenches that don't fit on things. Boy, that would... Looks like it'd be right, but there's just too much slop in it. This is huge, so of course that won't fit. This says it's 1.5, 2.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6. I say. Hey, boy. Chicken hawk. What did it say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should be the 4. And that's supposed to be a 4. But there's a massive amount of play there. It seemed to slip. I have lots of Allen wrenches, but like never the ones I need. I have a bender guitar with a bunch of springs and bolts. Well, this one says it's 4mm. This one says it's a 5mm. And that's going to be way too big. Is there a freaking 4.5mm? Telecaster with G and B benders and a drop D toggle. Ha! Bridge made by Hipshot. I've got a Hipshot trim setter in the back of this guitar. Don't you do anything. Alright, what about in here? Do we have... Get rid of this junk, whatever it was. Got a picture of it? That sounds pretty cool. Don't shoot all up there. Damn it. 4, 5, 5.5. What would a 4.5 be in fractions? Three 3.83, huh? That says 5, but it's actually a little smaller than 5. Yep. 4.7. Damn near. According to my micrometer, it's a little bit on the small side. So that gonna work. BRB. Almost, but not quite. Yeah, loose. Yeah, it kind of fits, but it slips. It'll be too big. Three-sixteenths doesn't quite fit. Now it slips a little. You know, it's in there. There's that much gives that much play. This one will be too small. Yep. Slightly too big. No. This is a woodworking set. I wouldn't expect it to have the right things in it, but I might as well try. Got a bunch of oddball ones that don't fit anything somewhere. Maybe it would fit this. I think that's over at the other house. Well, What did I do with that? Almost. Hmm. H4. This is the same thing. It's very sloppy. That's not going to fit in there. Yep, too much slop. Yep. Well. Scent looks like an old tackle box I have. It actually is a tackle box. No, I haven't. I was deep in the search. Let me check it out. So that's pretty crazy. I hate the Windows 10 picture viewer. You can't just zoom in with the mouse wheel. Ridiculous. That is pretty interesting. Haha! Is that a sitar? Oh yeah, it says sitar. I thought it said star. We were just looking up some info about sitars the other day. Let's see. This is a Kramer Beretta Special Neck. And there is that much play. It's almost none. This one. Can't tell. It's got like the socket for this, and then it's widens out into a just a round sort of cylinder. I can't tell if it's can spin inside of that. If it's all one piece or if that's two different pieces. The reason that matters is you can't see the actual nut once the wrench is in there. So what I've just done is I can see that the cylinder isn't turning, but I can't tell if that in there is, because I can't tell if it's one piece or not. So I put, where one of the ridges is, I put a line out on the cylinder. If I turn it a little bit, if that's two different pieces, it won't line up anymore. Okay, that is two different pieces. Now, like, if that turns, that's back to the original spot. Now, how much more do I have to turn it? That's still in the same spot. So that is all just play. It's not even... That turns it. So this is weird. So basically this will work, but it is a lot smaller than the actual hole. So I don't know how long it'd work. Do they have 4.5 Allen wrenches? Because really, that's, I mean, this is a 4. And there is that much play. I think I've got another 4 here. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not. That's a, come on, it started to focus. Look. I don't know what the magic is that makes the focus kick in exactly. There, yeah, 4mm. That is not turning the truss rod with that much movement. So that just can't be the right size. I'll verify. Okay. Oop. Okay, that is in place. That is actually turning. No, I stand corrected. This truss rod must be completely loose. Better idea. There's a silver pin on the nut. Okay. Now, yeah. This is how loose the truss rod is. It isn't under tension at all, and that's actually turning it. I thought it wasn't because it only gets tense right here and right here, and then and it didn't. I guess I was just happened to be turning it far enough that it kept lining up. But now I've got a silver dot on the truss rod and a black dot on that rig, so I can tell if it moves even just a little. Yep. Okay, this is the right size. It just there's just zero tension on the truss rod. It feels like an old school one-way truss rod when you would back it out to the point where it wasn't putting any pressure on the neck anymore. So wow, that's different. And I do have to stand corrected. The person who I talked to Sweetwater, at Sweetwater that sent this wrench, they were freaking awesome. And they sent me candy. Celebrate by having another piece of candy. Yeah, I love the Sweetwater guys. I'm gonna have to message them back and say I was mistaken. This does actually fit. It just, you can't feel it. You cannot feel that just feels like it's moving back and forth, not turning anything. Yeah, the weight of the wrench will turn itself. Like, okay. There's no way you would expect that to be a truss rod under tension. Well, I guess it must not be under tension. Make sure. Because that actually was turning it. Now I don't know which way it went. Now it's not in the same spot. Feels tight to go that way. Feels tight to go that way. Oh, I don't know. Somehow when I was doing that, it turned it enough that now I can't turn it without tension. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. Yeah, that was the problem. There really wasn't. $100, nice. An Anubis, or an Anolus. But like I tried to look up, like what size it was or what. Look for any kind of user guide or anything, and there just wasn't any for this guitar. The Kramer Vintage I owned before this, it came with the truss rod wrench. It was probably a 4mm. But when I sold the guitar, I put that back in the package that it came with and went with the guitar. How is that not? I don't know why I can't get that back without actually putting it under tension. We'll see how it is. The tech said that it was 4mm and sent me that. This is the fanciest. That's the fanciest freaking Allen wrench I've ever owned. I was very happy. I got something special now. All right. No, you don't. Don't get tangled. Don't you get tangled. Don't you get tangled. Stop getting tangled. Jeez. That really wanted to get tangled up. I usually give my necks a bit of a flex after making an adjustment. Especially in older random guitars, sometimes the truss rod would bind a little bit. So you like to adjust it a little bit and then give it a bit of a wiggle. You don't get crazy with it. as if the battery on my screwdriver needs a charge. Actually looks like my action may have gone up a little. Alright, well, feels as if Hmm. It looks a lot better though. Hmm. Speaking of flexing the neck a little bit. Seems about alright. I don't think the neck did need a little flex because it went back to being basically in tune again. It's a little off, but some reason the action seems a little high, but I don't know if I'm just imagining that. String action at 12th fret. .52, 0.0 to 1.5. Oh boy, I just thought of something. So, that what has happened is I must have tightened the net down tighter than they had it. They have those little shims in there. So the neck angle's changed a little. Oops. That's a bother. So, what to do, what to do. What I should do is shim the heel up a little more to make it like it was. But that'll take a minute. Let's do it. Irony that I didn't really want to take this guitar apart once, and now I've got to take it apart again. Yeah, put this here. There we go. Okay. This may have actually fallen down. Means I first need to try just putting it back again. check again. When I took this off, one of the shims had fallen down. I don't know if it was before or if it happened before I put the neck on or if it just now happened. So I try it again. Stay, guitar, stay! Do not wander. Oh, I know what happened. Ready for a bang. It's not on the... There we go. Alright. Let's see if that changed direction. Seems a little more reasonable. My glasses. Oh, my glasses are around my neck. Why didn't anybody tell me? It's just still pretty high. I'll start tuning. Yeah. So, let's pull her apart again. I think, unfortunately, the shims have gotten a bit squished, which is probably for me really horsing down on the screws when I tighten the neck back up. I'm used to putting those very tight. Okay. So what we have here. .16. 0.17. 114. 115. Dog hairs. Dog hairs everywhere. Can't escape them. I think that's going to be way too thick. Alright. But this said 1.15. 1.17. This is saying 1. Point 4. Point 1.18. Point 2. Kind of like, I'd like to get more like 1.2, I think. That's just almost there. Point 3. About to have to go and start cooking dinner. It's also going to be basically 1. 0.5. 0.5. 1.8. I guess these are all the same size. Well, let's go with 1.5. I think when I do the strings, I'm going to go ahead and stem up my saddles, but I'm not going to be able to do the strings on this string because I got to go and make chicken stuffing here in a minute. Set these shins in here so I don't lose them. I might need to go back with them again. This may be a problem. Alright, well. The neck wasn't wanting to fully seat. If it was doing that before, could have got a false reading. But I had to reseat it. Oh, I'm starting to get hungry. All right. Oh, my hand is got grease on it or something. There we go. Excuse me. Hello. That's the one from the guy that wanted to pay for my violin lessons. They're gonna be looking at my amp tomorrow, apparently, so I may have to go for that. Okay. Not yet, but I plan to. All right. Love you, baby. Bye. It's a little bit, not 100% sure. I think I need to raise this a hair. I like to be able to pull back enough to go a full step. So I want to change the strings. While I'm doing that, I want to go ahead and shim up these first two saddles a little bit so I can even out the bridge. I don't like having this side higher than that side because the groove in here is parallel with the body. If we make that go not parallel with the body, then it's not parallel with the groove either. Which can still work, but it's not optimal. Uh-oh. How can that chord sound so good? Didn't like that chord resonance. Actually, I just needed to lean forward. Look at the E. Right now it's below where it's supposed to be. Now it's above, and I'm not holding it by the neck. Low E. Tilt it above E. So I try to tune it straight up and down. The dog's rolling around on his back. This is a good way to keep that bar tight. When you go left, it loosens. About that time. Alright. So, thank y'all for coming by. Have to do the strings later, maybe. Maybe tomorrow. Good night. Some guy. Sounds good. Got it back together again? Yep. I put some brass spacers in here because the original little wood one seemed to have gotten a bit crushed. I don't think I've got it back as good as it was originally, as far as all the space and everything, but it plays really great. I need to do some more work on it, but I've got to go make dinner. So, it's going to be time to sign off. Thanks for coming by, some guy. And it was nice checking out your guitars. Nah. It did get the Sweetwater 55-point inspection. So they went over it, but not like their $200 setup. Alright, sir. Take care, have fun, and see you later, alligator.